am Deidre Quinn, and welcome to Pending and Trending, a podcast that started in real estate and grew into so much more. Here, we talk about the power of building wealth, creating opportunities, and designing a life that lasts for generations. With expert guests and real conversations, my mission is simple: to help you elevate your journey and build the legacy you deserve. Welcome back to Pending and Trending. Today, I am here with Evan Crawford. He is a highly accomplished real estate professional and co-founder of the Crawford Willis Group with eXp Realty, based in Auburn, Opelika, Alabama. With years of experience, Evan has become a leading figure in the Alabama real estate market, known for his innovative strategies and exceptional service. He has helped numerous clients navigate buying and selling with confidence. So I'm happy to have you here today, Evan. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right. Well, let's just dig into, your relationship based and service based. Let's talk about that a little bit, as far as how your strong relationships drive that repeat business and what you do to really build that trusted network.
Yeah, I think the biggest part of that is just the conversations that you have with people and the local stuff, like the chambers of commerces and things like that. And that's because coming into this real estate thing, I was not from Auburn or Opelika, which is our sister city. I'm not from here. And so just getting plugged in and having conversations with people and letting people learn about you as a person and your personality and being real with people. I think that was the biggest thing as well, is not too much fluff, not, hey, I know everything about real estate there is to know. It's more, if I don't know, I'll find out, and I'm going to work really hard for you. And that was the starting point for me, was really all I had. And it was, I think, just the trust that gave people of, oh, okay, this person's a real person. They're not giving me the cleaned up version, the filter version of themselves. Right. And so that was my starting point of doing this. And really just from there, I tell our agents on the team, I'm like, look, you can be friends with as many people as you want, but that doesn't mean they're always going to use you if you don't do a good job. Because I've got friends from college that if I jumped on a plane and they were the pilot, I would say, I'm getting off this plane. You know what I mean?
I love that. I love that analogy.
So you do have to do a good job at the end of the day. And that's how you build a referral base. And that's how they start telling their friends about you, and then staying in contact with them throughout the process. I'd like to share something with you, if that's all right. I got a message this morning from a client who said, Evan, some morning words of encouragement. You saved the day again. We got a water heater approved. They were covering $2,500, covers over half of it. The process was tedious, but HVAC guy said they rarely get these done. He was shocked. So thank you so much. And so just being able to stay in touch with people after the deal and being able to save people money after a negotiation 6 months later, 8 months later, and staying in contact with them and checking in on how those things are done and answering your phone when they say, hey, what was that warranty thing again that we had on the contract? It's simple. It's not, I'm not going to put a big equation on the whiteboard for you and say it's a big math equation and hard. It's just a matter of be willing to do it. And that's something that we don't see, unfortunately, all the time in our business, is people not answering their phones and people just saying, I already got money off that person. I'm done with that person, moving on. And if you're transactional, you're not going to last very long.
So really building those relationships, staying in touch with your people. I love what you said. You're not from there. And I want to go back to that a little bit, which relates to you created then your business and your sphere and your relationships from scratch, I'm assuming. And what tips can you provide to people for when they're starting in a new area? We get a lot of people that are starting in a new area.
Yeah, I think it's just, don't be scared to plug in. Don't be scared to reach out to people. And honestly, that's gonna build some callus for you in this industry anyways, because you're eventually gonna have to pick up the phone a lot of times, and you're gonna be told no. Another thing I tell our agents a lot is if you've ever tried to play the guitar and the first couple times you play the guitar, you really stink at it and it hurts your fingers, and eventually you start to get that rhythm. And eventually you start to build some callus on your fingers, and it doesn't hurt as bad as you're playing. And it's the same as making phone calls in real estate. You don't have a rhythm to start, and it hurts a little when somebody says, quit calling me. I don't want to hear from you. It stings a bit. But once you build that callus, it's just like you hang up and you go to the next person and you have a friendly conversation with that person and really treat it as coming from a place of contribution. Hey, I want to help. I'm not here to bug you. I'm just here to, for us, they visit our website, and that's where our CRM comes from. And it's like, hey, I know you're looking for something, and if there's anything I can help with in any way, shape, or form, I'd love to be that resource for you. And we're not big on sales salesy talk. We're more like, hey, I just want to help. If there's somebody that you're going to use to help, that we would love to be that person. And that's just been our MO around here, is just, hey, those are honest guys. Those guys are real guys. They're not gonna build you with fluff. They're just gonna be themselves. And I'm wearing a hoodie right now, and my business partner we're very different also. He's over there with a nice clean vest on and some khakis. And so we're very different, but we're ourselves. And I think that's what works for us. And you know what you're going to get when you're dealing with us. It's our social media is the same thing as what we are when you see us. And so I think that's refreshing for people as well, rather than seeing something completely different on a social media post, and then they meet the person, they're like, oh gosh, this person's a nightmare.
So how do you stay connected, and what tips would you have for any of our listeners in similar industries for staying connected?
Yeah. Obviously we do a couple of client events every year, past client events. And we do also one thing that we've done recently is a newsletter every week. And I think that's been beneficial for us because it's kept us. We do like a restaurant of the week, which has been great because we've met a lot of the restaurant owners around here that have appreciated it. And for people moving into town, it's always good to know, oh, we haven't tried that restaurant yet. Let's try that. And we have a kid event that we'll do at the bowling alley for all of our past clients. And we just give them some arcade money and some couple hours of bowling and get all of our clients together. And mostly what that is for us is, again, connecting people that are moving into the community with somebody new. And if you can be that Cupid for them, you can be that connector, they appreciate it. And they remember who introduced them to their new friend group and things like that. So you just want to be a part of their lives, and not in a way that's slimy. It's, hey, I want to really help you and integrate yourself into this community, enjoy this community, because we do. How can you do that? And so we do that. We do a sport claying event, which we're in Alabama, so a lot of our clients like that. And we just try to find ways that we can bring community together, and then just, I think, taking a general interest in people and really learning about people when you work with them is important, because, and sometimes you get enough clients, it is something you might need to take a note of and have a system for and have a tag for. Hey, this person loves dogs. Like, this person's obsessed with dogs. And you see something like city planning's coming across the board and they're saying, hey, we're going to have a new dog park on the corner of Reese and Gay. It's, hey, I'm going to hit all my clients up that love dogs. I'm going to say, hey, you guys are about to be excited about this. There's going to be a dog park coming up. So things like that, I think it's just, again, it's not rocket science. It's just taking a general interest in the people you're working with and the people you're working for, and just try to stay in touch.
Yeah, no, that's great. I love that. So you mentioned you have a partner, and I know you're the Crawford Willis Group, I believe. Tell me how that came about and how that collaboration enhances the client experience.
Yeah, absolutely. So I started in an independent firm here when I got into real estate. And he's much, much older than me. Just old, decrepit. There he is, right there. He just walked by. No, he was already doing real estate for about probably 10 years before I got into the business. And so I reached out to him because, again, I'm just a curious guy. So I was saying, hey man, how do you do this? He was successful on his own as a single agent. And so I just said, hey, what do you do on a daily basis? I want to know. And so he started mentoring me a little bit in that way. And then we worked on some commercial deals together that we had come across the table. And so we both started the commercial branch of the company that we were working for, the independent firm. And so we started working together really there, and still had our separate businesses on the residential side, and started to realize, hey, we work pretty well together on this commercial stuff, and we get busy doing separate things. And so why don't we just morph it all into one? And so from there, we just morphed it into one, and then it's been a work in progress since then. It's been somewhat of a business marriage where you're like, hey, we got to have this conversation to move forward. And it's, hey, what are you good at and what am I good at? And let's hone in on those things. And I'm more of a people pleaser. And so when we first teamed up, when it was just him and I, it was like, hey, I'm going to go work with buyers. You're better at telling people their house smells like a dog than I am, because he's just more honest and knows what it takes to sell a house. And I'm more like, hey, it smells great. Everything's fantastic about this house. So you got to know that about yourself too, going into this business. You got to know what you're good at and where you struggle. And we were able to yin and yang that and find ways to help each other out. And that just grew and continued to build business that way. And then we were able to bring on amazing agents. And that's how that flourished and flowered.
I like the way you differentiate the personality between the buyer and the seller agent. I think that's really awesome. So you have a team now, and let's talk about, that's super important to have a really strong team culture. And how do you maintain that? How do you build it? And how big is your team? I guess we'll start there.
And I would say this, it's definitely easier in a good market.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's as honest as I can be. But yeah, so right now there's 6 of us, and we've been up to 12 before. And that kind of differentiates between market. Obviously, there's some agents that say, hey, it's not in my future now. And then it also depends on projects that we have. We've done stuff with builders where we've needed 3 agents that were they were new construction agents, I would say. I've been told that there's the house cat and the alley cat, and house cats are that new construction agent that are very comfortable but very good at what they do when they're working with a builder. People are coming to them, and then they're able to really share all the information that the builder needs them to share, but they're fed by that builder. And so we've had those agents on the team when we've done subdivisions. And then you got your alley cat agents they're out there getting it, and they don't, honestly, it's hard to tame an alley cat agent. It's if you tried to bring an alley cat agent onto the new construction side and they had to sit in a model home from 10 to 11, 5, they're going to tear up the furniture. We've had to learn that those are kind of times when we need a different agent sources. And house cats don't really want to go out in the alley. They don't want to fight for the food. And so we've had to kind of go up and down with that. But right now we've got a very tight core of agents. We've got 6 of us, and we've all been together for a really long time. And our culture is, hey, let's work really hard and let's have a lot of fun. And that's really what we aim to do on a daily basis. So we want to make our tagline for our team is converting clients into friends. So we want to make a lot of friends, and the more clients we have, the more friends we get. And so that's where we land on a culture side.
That's great. I like that. You and your partner are the leaders of the team. And what does that look like today? Like, how do you do events with your team? Do you do lunches? Do you do meetings like every day or
you say margaritas?
Yeah. Margaritas?
Yeah.
Margaritas at the meetings?
Yeah, exactly. It just depends. We have a kegerator in the office, and that's all going to depend on how things are going, if that keg's full or not. So so typically Matt will be our lead listing agent. And so we get a listing in, and he will partner with Kristen as one of our other listing agents. And so they'll partner up and they'll take those listings on. And they tell us about those listings to see if we've got a buyer geared up and ready to go once we get it listed. But they handle that side of our business, which is great because they specialize in that. And that's what they're doing day over day after day. So they've gotten very good at it. And then the rest of us, we're buyer's agents. And we get a lead in, or we get a past client that sends us a referral. And typically we'll do a round robin with our agents and just, hey, who's next up? Sometimes we've got agents that have a little specialty with them. We've got one agent who specializes in some land and rural stuff. He's been very successful at it, knows it very well, knows the timber aspect of it. If there's somebody that's coming in and they're looking for land or something, he's probably going to get the nod on that one. And we have another agent who's worked a lot with student housing stuff, was actually managing some for a while. And if there's somebody looking for student housing, because we're in Auburn, which is a university, which is a good portion of our business, then they're probably going to get the nod because we want to make sure they're matched up with the right people. But overall, we're going on a round robin basis, and we're all going to work together. And if they're going out of town and I need to show their agent something or their client something, then that's going to happen. And if Matt or Kristen need to do an open house and they're out of town, we're going to pick each other up. And that's just the way we've wanted to run it from day one, is just everybody helping everybody, and iron sharpens iron, and just everybody. I don't think success is meant to be a lonely place. If everybody's succeeding, then everybody's happy, and that's where we want to be.
That's a place to be for sure. So are you in production then? Do you manage the buy side of the business, or are you still taking buyers on your own as well?
It also depends market. Honestly, it depends on the market. If we're in need of, hey, we need some more stuff fired up right now, then I'm gonna jump on a lot of calls. I'm gonna get in the system and I'm gonna jump on a lot of calls and get some people going. And if I get too many of them, I don't want to ever dilute my service, for sure. So if I'm working with too many people, then definitely it's going to the agents. But yeah, typically in a perfect world, it's, hey, I want to help team up with each one of you and our clients. I would like to be forwarding our business and our relationships and working on builders and developers and projects that can build more business for our agents. That's a perfect world. But I'm sure you know that this is such an up and down market that you just have to bob and weave and adjust with the market and see what's working at the time. It all depends. That would be my overall answer.
Got it. That's good. So talking about market, what is your market like now? Real estate right now is hyper local, right? I have a couple different markets that I work in, so even within them, I'm like, wow, like the different markets are, it's insanity. So let's talk about what your market is like currently and how that's changed recently and how that's affecting your strategy.
Yeah, overall, right now, it looks like we've got, so we're in a college town, and then we've got a luxury lake, probably about 45 minutes from here, which we work both of those markets. Luxury lake market, depending on price point, has slowed down quite a bit as far as, and it's funny, people are like, oh, so yeah, people can't afford the bigger stuff. And it's no, that's actually the stuff that's selling. People that aren't necessarily worried, they're buying something cash and they've got the excess of money, then they're still moving on big product. The stuff that is somebody that was saying, hey, we want a second home at the lake, but we're going to need to rent it out here and we're going to need to do this there. Like it's hard to make that make sense right now for a lot of people. And so those have slowed down quite a bit. So for us, at the lake, that would be the 550 to 850 market, something like that, or 600 to 850 market slowed down a little bit. We are in a college town. And so condos continue to move pretty well for us around campus. And that's due to some changes on campus whether it be parking, they've limited parking, which obviously means you want to be closer to campus on a condo. And most of our condos are close to campus. So those are still moving really quickly whenever they come on the market, even multiple offers. And honestly, we're getting even housing close to campus because the kind of that game day, college game day experience of whether it be alumni that are big donors or whatever, they want to be close to campus and downtown, which our downtown and campus are right next to each other. So they want to be right there in the mix during football season, during basketball season, during baseball season, and they're willing to pay for it. And that market is moving tremendously still, and it's getting crazy numbers. It's still going up every day. And then you get outside of that and our days on market's gone up quite a bit. We're still moving stuff, but definitely more seller concessions, definitely sellers willing to do a little more than they were 2 or 3 years ago. And just an expectation of, hey, if I'm putting on the market, that doesn't mean I got to be ready to call the movers in 18 hours. That means we got to keep our house clean. We got to do certain things that are going to make us be able to move this product because there's just a little more inventory than there has been recently. So it's changing. And honestly, I'll tell you this, it's been weird all year. It's been a week or two of all of our listings getting shown every day, 5 times, and just crazy. And then it's 3 weeks of, do I need to change careers? It's not working out. So it's just been, and it's been that way all year. And overall, it's been a good year because those weeks are crazy and they've been great. But those weeks when it hasn't been, it's made you question things a little bit. But during those times, I think it's important to look at your systems and look at your expenses and look at during those times where you do have the excess time that you're not talking to clients about their home inspections, then you should be looking at your systems and saying, hey, look, what can we cut here? Why are we still paying for this that we haven't used in 5 years? So that's given us that opportunity, which I think is also helping you doggy paddle through any kind of slower market.
That's right. That's right. That's great. Now you mentioned I think the Chamber of Commerce before. What local initiatives or partnerships have helped you make an impact in the area and continue your reach and business building?
Yeah, I think the chamber was really good for me just because coming in not really knowing anybody, it was a great way to meet all the lenders and all the people close to the real estate, the home inspectors and the appraisers and stuff like that. A lot of those people are tied into that, and as well as the business owners. And the more you know business owners, the more you can help your clients, because when they come in and they say, hey, they moved into town, they just got in, and their car won't start to get to work. And who do I call? I say, hey, I know a guy that has a car place down the road. And so the more business owners in town as a real estate agent is wildly important, because you want that person to call you to ask you that question. And it has nothing to do with their house, but it has something to do with they just have a need, and you're the person that they're thinking of immediately when they have a need, which is,
we always have a guy, right?
That's what you want. So, being able to be introduced to those people and talk to those people was huge for me. And then I'm I'm into martial arts. So the gym that I go to, again, I tell our agents here is, hey, what are you into? What is it that, you enjoy doing in your free time? Find a way to blur that with your business. And I'm a diva. I think most of the people that go to our gym, I've helped in a way, shape, or form because I'm going to talk to them. And they know that, hey, anytime we've had a couple fighters come out of our gym, I'm going to sponsor them because I want to see them succeed. And how can I help you? And then that's going to leak into, hey, more people at the gym go, oh yeah, I forgot Evan is a real estate agent. We're going to move. Let's go ahead and use them. And plugging into just what you're into. And that's easy. That's not working. To me, that's not working. That's just, I can get to do what I like to do with my hobby and happen to be networking at the same time and building a clientele. Just leaning into those places and that could be pickleball. It could be board games. It could be whatever you're into. It doesn't matter as long as you know, again, it all comes back to knowing what you're talking about, paying attention to your market and being knowledgeable. So if somebody does ask you a question that, goes to your gym, you can't be like, you got to know, say, hey, yeah, they are doing this, or that neighborhood's probably fetching this per square foot or whatever. So off the cuff, you got to know a little bit about your market. Yeah, that. And then just what else are you into charitably? I work with a team that coach a team of baseball. I have a past in baseball. I've played at Auburn, and so I coach a team of adults with special needs. And so just something that I'm passionate about, always have been. And again, you lean into that. I've built clients from there and their friends and their sphere and their families. And not that was the mission, but again, it's doing what you love and then finding a way to blur that with feeding your family. I don't think it's not as hard as some people want to make it out to be. I'll put it that way.
That's great. You're yourself, you're doing the things you love, and you're attracting business at the same time. So that's great. Now, I know to change gears here, I understand that you have a children's book. Am I right?
Yes, I do.
Let's talk about that a little bit. Tell us about the book. Tell us how it came about and a little bit about it and how we can get our hands on it.
Yeah. It's actually on Amazon, weirdly enough. But it's got my son and my daughter in it, and actually my wife and stuff. And it's about a kid going through a move, basically. And he's getting a baby sister, and it's our story, to be honest. He's getting a baby sister, and it's a little scary to be moving to a new neighborhood, new friends, things like that. And it's just the process that it takes and how new can be fun and new adventures with your family and things like that. And it's about finding a tree house in the back of the house that his parents were buying. And so honestly, I did it just out of fun with my kids. I was messing around with them. And then I was like, we can give this to families when they buy a house. I'll just give them as a little side thing in their bag of, hey, read this to your kids if you want to. And just maybe it'll make them feel a little more comfortable with their move if they're nervous about it. And so from there, people got it and then got on Amazon. And so it's just, it's kind of been fun.
That's awesome. That is fun. That is fun. I love it. And a lot of kids do. You know what? It's a big thing for a child to leave the house that they're in or to make a big move to someplace else, or usually both at the same time. So what is the name of the book? And I know you said it's on Amazon.
Yes. Let me see if I can find one. It's called A Fort to Call Home, A Child's Home Buying Experience. And this is the
That's great. A fort to call home, a child's home buying experience. Love it.
A child's home buying adventure. I'm sorry. Yes.
A child's home buying adventure.
I don't even know the name of it. So there you go.
We'll find it. We'll find it.
That's great. Absolutely.
Okay. So that's fabulous. So do you have any last things that we didn't cover that you'd like to share with our listeners?
Oh, not really. I would just say, hey, whatever you're doing, do it, go all in and try to have a lot of fun doing it, because especially in this world of real estate, there can be some days that you got to shake off. If you can enjoy doing it and just want to help people and want to dive into people, then it's a great industry to get into, and it can be a lot of fun, and you can be successful having fun.
That's great. That's great. Thank you so very much for being on with us today. Yeah. What an amazing chat with Evan Crawford, showing how real estate success starts with relationships, teamwork, and giving back. Go follow Evan and the Crawford Willis Group on Instagram and YouTube, and don't miss his inspiring real estate children's book. If this episode inspired you, share it with someone building their business. And if you've got a story worth sharing, reach out. You could be one of my next guests on Pending and Trending with Deidre Quinn.
I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for spending time with me.
Thanks for tuning in to Pending and Trending. Remember, generational wealth doesn't happen by accident. It happens by action. If you liked today's episode, share it with a friend, subscribe, and let's keep elevating your journey together.